Hello and welcome to Public Conscience on Radio, the anti-corruption program produced by the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development with the support from the MacArthur Foundation. Primong is a civil society group with mandate to work for good governance, participation and accountability in Nigeria. I am Okiria Agonsuremi and Adaobi Abumo is right here with me in the studios.
On Public Conscience on Radio, we seek to evolve a corruption-free society through the amplification of corruption stories reported by our partner media organizations and drawing citizens and government's attention for democratic actions against it. We are supported by the MacArthur Foundation. Today, we continue with our focus on the guidelines for the management of the COVID-19 funds. We promise to get the ICPC to join us on this program today to throw more light on the guidelines and how it can be used to prevent corruption in the disbursement of the COVID-19 funds. And the guidelines are coming up to address the public fears and the huge funds available to government to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic were being expended without any accountability templates known to the public. And let us bring you up to speed with some of the salient provisions of the ICPC guidelines. Under the guidelines, there is the bank account policy, which allows the chairman of the PTF, that is the Presidential Task Force, the discretion to designate bank accounts solely for the collection of funds and donations, as well as specific bank accounts that receipts are swept into for expenditure, whose signatories, though appointed by the chairman, the PTF chairman shall not have approval powers. Reconciliations of the accounts and books maintained shall be submitted to the chairman, PTF, monthly. Also, there is the expenditure and payment provisions, which requires payments to vendors, suppliers, and ad hoc staff to be mainly by bank transfer after they have made supplies or rendered service in order to leave trails. The guidelines says the responsibility for procurement rests on the shoulders of the chairman, PTF, and all such procurements are required to adhere to the provisions of Section 43 of the Public Procurement Act 2007 in the emergency period. Additionally, all post-COVID procurements must comply fully with the comprehensive provisions of the procurement law. The guidelines also require all cash advances to be subject to the financial regulations and public services rules. Are these guidelines workable? How open will the adherence to the guidelines be? And how will the ICPC monitor to ensure that the guidelines are respected? We have in the studios the Director in charge of Public Enlightenment and Education, Mrs. Rashidat Okodua. She's joining us in the studio. I want to thank you for joining us, madam.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Also in the studio is Dr. Sam Amadi, a lecturer at Bayes University here in Abuja. Dr. Amadi is a lawyer with huge background in civil society advocacy for good governance. Thanks for joining us on the program, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And remember that you can follow us on our social media platforms at Official Primorg. Primorg is spelled P-R-I-M-O-R-G, so you can get it correctly, P-R-I-M-O-R-G. We are streaming live currently at Official Primorg on our Facebook page, and you can watch our videos on Primorg TV, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to get reminders when we have a new post.
And our WhatsApp line to send your message is 0902-265-6167. That is 0902-265-6167. This number is for messages only. You can send your messages now.
Yeah, please continue to send your message while we begin to interact with our guest, and we assure you we'll get your message read out, and then get ready with your phone. We'll be telling you which phone lines to reach us in the course of the interaction, because this is a live show, and your input is as valuable as the input that we have from the studio. Let's begin with Madam Rashida Okodua, who's
spokesperson of the ICPC.
Yeah.
Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
We would like you to break down the guidelines released by the ICPC with regards to the bank account policy.
Before we jump into the guidelines, I want us to understand the background to the ICPC intervention so that we are properly enlightened on why we got it on board.
Okay.
ICPC has a mandate, a corruption prevention mandate in its law. There are 3 areas, the mandate is 3-pronged. There's enforcement of the law, there's corruption prevention, and there is also public enlightenment and education. Under corruption prevention, ICPC has the mandate is at section 6, subsection B, C, and D of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. And in summary, those 3 subsections say that the Commission has the power to go and study the systems and procedures of government bodies, and where we believe that some of their processes are prone to corruption, we should supervise, direct and supervise a review of those processes. Furthermore, those subsections also say that ICPC is authorized to, has the power to advise or direct any government agency or head of agency on ways by which corruption can be minimized or totally eliminated in their processes. So with that as background, that was why ICPC got involved in this intervention we're all talking about. We all know that the COVID-19 is a global emergency and there's a lot of things to be done in a lot of hurry. And where there's hurry like that, there might be some inadvertent, infractions because people are, they'll be responding to the exigencies of the moment, not really being too mindful of procedures and processes. So ICPC, when the COVID-19 task force was inaugurated and we started hearing about donations and even government's own commitment to the COVID-19 response, ICPC issued an advisory, and it was widely publicized, that everybody involved in the chain of the response should be mindful of processes and due process and procedure as they are going about the response to the COVID-19. They should not be forgetful of getting appropriate approvals. In an emergency, approvals are not delayed. Sometimes you hear people say, oh, we couldn't get an approval. Really, everybody knows an emergency, so even those who have to approve would approve. Then thereafter, we set up our own monitoring team to monitor what is going to be happening. We'll talk more a bit later on that. Yeah. And then also, when some other aspects of the response, we had our state offices working with CSOs to go and monitor other processes around the COVID-19. Now let's come to the guidelines. The guidelines were issued at the request of the Presidential Task Force when we brought out that advisory, and then we made an assertive statement that ICPC is on the lookout for infractions. So people are better advised to keep to the rules and guidelines of operating in what they are doing. And that if they do, well, we're not saying if they don't, it's not a threat, but that we shall do our work, we shall do our duty once the whole period is over, and we have to do like a post-examination of the processes that had taken place. So the PTF then asked us to, give them our recommendations on how they should proceed. Now, as you have said, those recommendations in detail are actually available on our website, and it's public knowledge. But particularly, let me say at the beginning, before I start analyzing the guidelines, that we had said these are recommendations to the task force for them to be guided in what they are doing. It's not mandatory, as it were. They are recommendations. And we had said under the bank policy that the chairman of the PTF may designate, use his discretion to designate the banks that will be a collection bank for the donations, but then those ones will just be for collection only. And then they will then have a specific account that all those donations will be swept into. That specific account will also be the one that it will be the only one account they are taking money from. But before I tend to jump the gun a bit, there has been further developments in government circle since the ICPC guidelines. I
agree with you totally. Of course, at some point, you also had to do an amendment to your guidelines to suit what was the development. And we must commend the ICPC because we are not waiting for the offense to be committed. And I want to say it's a threat, and it's good for us to use it as a threat. We are telling them, if you do not obey the extant laws, ICPC will do their job. So, madam, don't be ashamed to. Don't be afraid to say.
No, a threat. I said it's not a threat. It's a statement of fact. A statement of fact is not a threat. A threat is I will do something to you which I may not eventually do to you.
But you are sure you will follow.
Yes, this is what we're saying is a statement of fact. ICPC will do its work.
That is actually where where working with the ICPC is a lot very smooth for us, because we do not want to wait for the offense to be committed and then we begin to chase where the money has gone. But let's take a look at your own intendment. Your intendment is that you want you don't want the money to be stolen, you don't want the money to be misused, you want the money to be used for the purpose for which it was set out for. That's why you are looking at the guidelines. We are going to be listening to the chairman of the Presidential Task Force just soon. But before we listen to him, because he's going to raise an issue as to whether he himself is in charge or is not in charge. He talked about the MacArthur General's office having the fund that they just do requisition. Let's listen to the chairman of the Presidential Task Force, Boss Mustafa.
The contributions that we have asked from Nigerians, and in my discussion with the Office of the Accountant General, I requested that publish this thing so that we stop answering questions. And today, he took out about 3 pages in one of the national dailies, The Nation, and published the names and the banks through which these contributions came from. Even these resources is not under the control of the PTF. It is managed by the Accountant General of the Federation. Ours is that when we need money for our work, we place a budget and a requisition, and the monies are supplied to us for us to undertake our work. But we do not control an account for all these 4 contributions that I've said. Monies will be released to us on need basis. And that is what has been happening. So please, I think we should put this thing to rest. There is no billions that have been collected by the Presidential Task Force. I've explained it over and over and over.
So 2 things I picked out from that, madam, from the, he said, we are not in control, and he said, that is what has been happening, which means there has been expenditure. We have been asking, and they have been giving us the money. Then, I want to find out from you the difference between collection account, which is under the control of the Accountant General as it is now, because they are the one in charge. PTF said they are not in charge. And then the accounts that, under your guideline, you have said the ICPC, when the PTF, when they get their money, this is how the money should be spent. There's a lot of work to be done as to the control of the funds when they make requests, when it gets to their, what are they requesting for? How much are they using to buy ventilators? Who is following up with what are they? Is it just enough for the ICPC if they just say we have asked for the money, then they have given us the money? Where is your work actually in between?
Since the ICPC guideline that had been issued, I said earlier that had been developments in government circle, which would, by the time I finish explaining, you'll see that it goes to show government's own commitment to transparency and accountability. Because if ICPC, as a government agency, sprung to action to be able to say, let's prevent corruption, and then you see another unit of government now cementing that action of ICPC, then you know this is very obvious government commitment. Now, this is the development. After the ICPC issued its guidelines, the Accountant General on May 5 issued a framework for spending for the utilization of the COVID-19 funds under the TSA. The framework has been approved by Mr. President, and it is mandatory on the PTF and all those who have to be in the line of utilizing those funds. Now, what does that framework say? You know, ICPC earlier had said that the chairman could designate banks that would collect the monies. But if you will recall, if the Nigerian public will recall, Mr. President himself had announced 5 banks. There is, first of all, a bank, an account with the CBN called the COVID, that's the private sector,
yes,
Coalition Against COVID-19 account. It is domiciled in CBN. Monies that have gone into that account are not under, like PTF said, it's not under their control, it's at CBN. Then Mr. President announced 5 banks, collection banks. I think Zenith, First Bank, UBA, GTB, and I think Access, or the banks that and those accounts are sub-accounts to this COVID account, which went and just to be used for collection. Once monies are collected into that account, by this framework now, those monies are sent straight to the main account in CBN. So those sub-accounts are linked to the TSC account, so nobody touches. Now let's come to disbursement.
Yes.
How did they go about disbursement? You know, ICPC had said we left, you know, issues of expenditure to approvals of the PTF chairman, if you recall our guidelines.
Yes.
But this framework has actually fine-tuned what ICPC brought out. What this framework says, and remember I said the framework is mandatory now because it has the stamp of Mr. President. The framework says monies will not be given to the PTF to buy, to do major things regarding this response. They will only give to the PTF administrative expenses for its secretariat. But all other monies will be utilized by the MDAs that are directly in the line of the COVID-19. MDAs like the NCDC, Ministry of Health, and so on and so forth. But then even at that, those ones will not just access the money like that. First of all, the framework says that the framework was urging the Honorable Minister for Finance, Budget Planning and National Development to liaise with the NAS, with National Assembly, to pass a supplementary budget appropriation act for the utilization of the COVID-19. So that money will not be touched unless it is appropriated. That's according to Constitution. So the NAS will appropriate. And the framework says that submission of the supplementary budget will be based on estimated needs of the different MDAs and the needs and the estimated costs.
So the funds that Boss Mustafa says, this has been happening, we have been making requisition, and we have been getting money to do, as you said, maybe administrative work. It has not been appropriated.
I would have no knowledge of that as I speak now.
Okay.
But I'm speaking to what the framework says.
Sir, I would like you to respond to the soundbite by Boss Mustafa.
And what Madam has also said, against the background that we are buying ventilators, we are buying PPEs, we are buying so many things, the National Assembly has not appropriated. There's nowhere you can touch a button now and find out what type of ventilators we are buying. We do not know. Ventilators cost between 2,500 and 25,000. We don't know which one has been bought. We don't even know who is buying it. Because from Madam's explanation, it may not even be the responsibility of PTF to buy it. It may be Ministry of Health or NCDC. Nobody knows what is being bought and how the thing is going on. We want to react to that.
ICPC's framework is very helpful and expected of the person in charge who is interested person in civil society understands actually what it is. Again, look at the BPE guideline, which
yes.
I think is much more relevant because there are two issues here around corruption and financing. One is procurement, which is planned, sustained. Even though we're dealing with an emergency, there's an already existing framework under the PPA on how to deal with emergency procurement, direct procurement, waiver of no objection and all that. So the PPE provides, if you like, gives a lot of discretion, of course, to the procurement entity, but of course provides some procedural paperwork that kind of you can track. I see that
it is essentially flowing from the Procurement Act.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But essentially, it gives more discretion. It provides for discretionary spending. It acknowledges that look, this is an emergency. There could be some procurement that may not be in the usual strategy of competitive bidding. And this should be very easy because these products are products with defined manufacturers.
Yes.
And defined
the
price.
quality.
So you know
the
what
template and the brands.
So if you're going to look for PPEs, you're going to look for ventilators. You know there are few people who procure them. I think there's a market for it. All over the world, they're bidding now for this because of scarcity. It's driving up price. So it's easy to know exactly how much they cost. Now, what is dicey is some of these procurements. Boss Mustafa talk about. If you need money, we request. by now we should have had clarity as to what they're going to spend for. For example, issues around what the allowance of the members of the PTF, issues around what should they use to move around. Those should have been defined in a document. You see, the problem with Nigeria is not about tracking or procurement process. It's about structuring expenditure.
I'm being open about
What are
it.
we going to spend? What are we spending for? Being open. Basically, the answer to procurement crisis is openness. The website should be there. Nigeria today placed an order for 300 ventilators from
At the cost, this is the brand,
manufacturer, and the price are global. It's in there. You as a journalist can click and find the price today based on the pricing, the pressure of demand and supply in the market. So I think there's some mysticism. The Nigerian factor, the factor of discretionary spending. Yes, it's one thing to have a TSA, meaning that the accounts are dedicated, so the Nigerian warehouses all the money. But the linking, the way to track, where ICPC to track them is when you make requests, like the boss Mustafa says, that we don't hold the money. You don't need to hold the money. It's government money is held by the Controller General, generally speaking, and those it grants approval to open an account. So technically, the Controller General holds the whole money because he gives the approval to open a government account, so you can track it as a see-through. But the crisis is, what are you requesting for?
Exactly.
How much are you requesting for it?
What do you want
Why
to use
do you
it
want
for?
to use it for?
Yeah.
So these are the areas of corruption that ICPC now has work to do. These guidelines are good. It's okay, you must have one person define the account, two approval levels. We do that in past, and that's very fine for purposes of control. But the critical issue is, how do we know what is PTFP spending? For example,
How do we know what NCDC is spending? Yeah.
Today we
The
are
Ministry of
Finance.
Health and
Who
Health.
has responsibility to procure what? Today we are procuring a lot of things. The face masks, all the equipment, the drugs are going to be purchased.
Yes.
Now there's dispute as to what are they giving people for trade. So let's assume it's a cocktail of different drugs. Maybe it costs 300 naira, 2,000, 5,000, 3,000. And then somebody posts 500,000 for the treatment of 3 or 4 people. That's how the corruption will happen. So these frameworks are insufficient until the PTFP, the Ministry of Finance, the NCDC.
Do you have fears that ICPC may actually be opening the door from the back because they have good intentions, they have the guidelines, even the Bureau of Public Procurement, they came up with a beautiful thing that is tied to the Procurement Act. Do you have fears that we like you said, ICPC need to do some other things?
Yes, my fear is that ICP means well is doing the right thing, but then they should step it up. Maybe the first is a guideline on spending, requiring mandating agencies in the front line to define where they have statutory powers to procure.
Yes.
People assume that NCDC is in charge of this process, but then NCDC is a technical, epidemiological, library, clinical outfit. Now, if you look at other countries in the world, like the US, for example, the task force actually coordinates activities in terms of shaping, all the logistics issues, policy in the big sense. But like the US, the CDC.
NCDC is still under the
exactly.
subject
There's a coordinator there.
Yeah.
There's a chairman. So the young man who is heading the NCDC, now just think NCDC is driving the process. At the end of the day, they might be just doing the technical work under the PTFP.
Okay, let's ask Madam, judging from what we have seen now, the cocktail of the activities that's required, your very laudable guidelines, even the one that is brought out by the BPP, wonderful guidelines, you still have fears?
Well, it's a good thing that we're having this conversation, and because we always, people who can always get better, learn from exchanges and conversations. What I want to say for now is that, I said earlier that our guidelines and what the Accountant General has brought out shows, like I said, government's commitment beyond even just intention to be transparent and accountable for these funds. Let me speak further to what they have put in that framework, which is what we will now track, and I'm going to ask civil society also to track that. In the framework, there was something I missed out earlier about the scope of the framework, the monies that it covers. It covers not just the donations, it also covers the public monies that are devoted to this response. Now, the Accountant General in the framework has said that to establish financial transparency about what is going on, that the Office of the Accountant General will publish a daily treasury statement.
A daily?
Daily.
Wow.
Daily treasury statement for the COVID-19 funds, showing all the inflows and the outflows. And then each MDA, now you are asking, you ask, who is buying what? What did they even buy and all that? This framework also says that each participating MDA, that is each MDA in the line of response that has been taking money for utilization, will also publish a daily payment report.
Published to who?
Publish on their in the okay. There's, I don't know if you know about the Open Treasury portal. There is a portal by government. Let me give you the address. It's www.opentreasury.gov.ng.
Accessible by anybody?
Yes, accessible by anyone. www.opentreasury.gov.ng. Now, that the publications shall be made on that portal not later than a week after each transaction. So if they make a transaction today, don't go there today to see whether it's going
at
to be
least 1 week.
A week afterwards, that it will be there. That's what this framework is. Remember, I said that this framework carries the stamp of Mr. President, so it is mandatory. Now, in addition, they said each MDA will also publish on their website, apart from the Treasury portal, that each MDA will publish on their website a report at the end of every week, a detailed report on their websites. If ICPC was in the line of the expenditure now, we would have to do such a report every on our website. Also, it says the monthly budget performance of the fund will also be published on the Open Treasury portal. So there is the daily, which comes after a week, and then there's this monthly one. Furthermore, a comprehensive report of all the receipts and all the payments will be published on the OAGF Transparency Portal, website of Finance, Ministry of Finance. It will also be on the SGF portal, and then the accountant not later than 2 weeks after the end of the pandemic. Now, this is the kicker. You know, I said when I listed all those things, I said this is a call to civil society
to follow,
to start monitoring, and also it's also a guide to us to say, okay, let's start looking at the numbers. Now, this framework also says that it is mandatory. That's the word that is used in the framework. It is mandatory for all participating MDAs to provide information on the COVID-19 fund transactions to any member of the public, whether individual or corporate, under the FOI Act.
So anybody can request for
yes, and it says they should answer within the 7 days of receiving that request. That is mandatory. And also, they also put something else in the framework, that failure to publish timely reports of all these COVID-19 activities in the prescribed format. You know, we talked about daily expenditure, monthly thing, and all that. And it will say, the format actually is that you have to state what the money is for, who you paid it to, what you used it to buy. So the company name will show, and all that, all of that is supposed to show in the reporting format. So failure to do this in that format, to publish in the format, or failure to respond to FOI requests shall be deemed, first of all, as early warning signs of mismanagement. I am quoting from the framework. And then it shall be deemed a contravention of the guideline.
As it is now, madam, everything seems beautifully set out on paper. And I'll get back to that my question. Do you have fears?
Let me say that ICPC knows that it has its work cut out for it because of the magnitude of what we're dealing with, and in the context of other issues that ICPC has to deal with. We know that we have our work cut out for us. As it were, we're talking about funds now.
Yes.
But there are other corruption issues around this COVID-19 response. You talked about buying drugs. Treatment can be a point of corruption issue where it has to be treated to the highest bidder. I'm just saying, I'm not saying.
Yes.
Treatment, corruption issues are
or even the difficult.
By the grace of God, it's just to go about in a structured, like you said, structured manner.
All right, let's give you opportunity before we go to the public, because we have to open the phones first.
Just to say, I think 2 fears I have here is that guideline from the
framework.
It's an internal guideline, meaning that it triggers public service disciplinary action, may not trigger third-party rights. So you can't put it as a law. For example, if they fail to do these things, Mr. President can punish them, the service can punish them, but it does not amount to authorization. So what I'm trying to say is that ICP still has its statutory mandate to follow this guideline in order to create case
Yes.
post-COVID. Because this is a guideline, executive orders operate to strengthen.
Particularly that the ICPC,
So,
are not even there when these things are going
So
on.
the point of
They only get
the
reports.
guideline enables or commits public officers to particular line of action. If they fail, it's a public service that should discipline them.
Okay.
No,
So-
may I quickly respond to that?
Yes.
Respond, please.
Even from our initial guidelines, we had stated that we shall do a post. We even gave them the guidelines, say on while the emergency is going on, go to emergency procurement procedures, 43 of PPA 2007.
Those are binding, they are law.
And then we said also that post-COVID, this is what we needed to do. So we had already indicated that even post-COVID is even when our work centers.
begin.
Now, rest assured, Nigerians should be rest assured. ICPC actions are backed by law. So if people run foul of this framework and they do anything that doesn't go, even in the advisory we brought out much earlier, we have said ICPC will not shy away from doing its duty. Enforcement is a major plank of that,
All right.
of the mandate that ICPC has.
All right, let's go to invite our listener to this. Please let us make it brief as possible. Let's also be civil. We are dealing with very, very serious matters here. We want accountability. Primark wants accountability, ICPC wants accountability, and the public wants accountability. We have our first caller. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name and where you are calling from, please?
Good. My name is Raymond. I'm calling from Itama. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Raymond from Maitama, we can hear you very clearly. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, Ori and your team, for bringing this particular topic for us to get insight into what's going on. I would like to say, just like I think the doctor said in the studio, that all this is, or maybe you said it, that all these are very nice details. They are very nice policy from the ICPC. The woman knows what she's talking about. ICPC probably have, all the weapons in their arsenal to do their job. But my fear is, and I think you've asked this question already, my fear is the political will. It's all good for you to, have all these policies on ground, but how can ICPC shield itself from the political powers that be? The political will. It's okay for ICPC to find somebody once in, for instance, in the PTF, or the PTF hasn't done the job properly. What do you then do? Can you arrest the SGF, the chairman of the PTF? Can you, can they be punished if they've gone foul to all these policies and guidelines you have put on? I don't think so. So that is my fear, actually. The political will to carry out these things. ICPC sound like they know what they're doing. They're trying to adapt to, the changing times. But I fear that so many things have happened already, especially the fact that the PTF has existed before now. And I don't know how they can maneuver themselves around the political will.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to appreciate the first caller that came and they also expressed the fears that will be
about the political will.
With the political will. Hello.
Hello.
Your name, where you are calling from, and please, can we make it as brief as possible?
All right, no problem. This is Sunday Friday calling from Osako.
Thank you so much, Friday.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very serious issue here. And I would like to give kudos to the ICPC itself and the rest. But one thing is certain, it's easier said than done. It's just like the rule of law that we read on papers and it's not enforceable. You understand? So I think if they can put in more effort in making this thing that has been said, I think it will go a long way. Even I myself, when address given, I'm writing it down and I want to check it online myself so that previously, I think in future to come, we will have what to say with regards to that. Have a wonderful deliberation.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's good that we are all taking notes. Hello.
Yeah, my name is Usman. I'm calling from Meshama.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. You guys are discussing a very important issue. But there's an area that I'm a little bit confused. I know that there are three categories in which money comes to the federal government. One, there is a contribution by the private sector, which is managed only by the private sector. That is what you are called. Then the other one, it has to do with the one that came from the international community, which is managed by a basket fund, managed by the international community and Nigeria. So I'm a little bit confused of this procurement that people are saying. There was no mention of any procurement entity. And any ventilator been bought, who buy the ventilator is because Boston has been telling us that The PTF is not the side of buying anything. So as the PTF bought any ventilator or any equipment, what he told us, whenever they have a need, they write to the accountant general, they provide them with them. And I want to believe that in writing to the accountant general, they must state what they want to do with that money. Before the money comes, they will not just write and say, give us 100,000 and then you don't release 100,000. There must be a breakdown of what to be done with that money. So I want to know, is this that a ventilator was bought? I wouldn't know the procurement entity or what? That's I want to understand the conversation very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a good one. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
My name is Kennedy. I'm calling from Carol. Straight to the point, Mr. Aria. It's everybody's pointing fingers. It's not as easy as said and done. I just want to do, you guys said, do a quick check. A portal has been given. You do a quick check and check. Has there been any procurement receipt or payment listed on the portal as of today? As of today, are they already breaching? So that we can see those warning signals and we now know where to attack.
All right.
The best fact is that we can quickly do the check before you go out of the studio and confirm if they've published any daily payment or receipt to date.
All right. Thank you very much. And that is very instructive. Very, very instructive. We are not, the Primark is not the only one monitoring. I can tell you that ICPC is monitoring, ESCC is monitoring, so many civil society groups are monitoring. Of course, the budget, the question that has arisen just now is whether appropriation has been done. Are we spending money, extra budgetary spending? How are we under the emergency spending? Like Dr. Amadi was trying to explain to us, what are the rules allowed? All those kind of, but let me allow Madam to respond to 2 or 3 of the questions because our time is actually running out.
Okay, the first observation or question was on the political will.
Yes, political will.
Yes, now how can ICPC shield itself from political interference?
Yes, if you are told, please just leave us alone, leave them alone and let them do their job. You know it's under emergency and the thing flows. You know how soft the thing can be.
Okay. Let me say quickly that as citizens of this great country, we must begin to believe in our government,
in institutions.
If we see improvements, Nigeria is not where it used to be regarding this issue of corruption. And the government, the present administration has repeatedly stated its commitment to anti-corruption. Now, ICPC, where does this stand with political interference? Section 3, subsection 14 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, which set up ICPC, states clearly there that the commission shall not be subject to any control, any authority, while it is doing its work as delineated, as mandated by the Act.
I hear somebody out there who is listening saying, Madam,
precisely. Now let me continue. But that will only be as good as the paper is written on if the person who under the reins of the ICPC, allows himself to be, how would I say, influenced by political influence. I would say with all sense of responsibility that ICPC has been fortunate over the years to have had persons at the helm of affairs who would not allow themselves to be so, how would I say, affected or influenced, particularly the present board of the ICPC. I don't have to talk about the antecedents of the present chairman of ICPC and the board members.
I think the second person raised a pertinent question. So maybe you just go to the second question.
Okay. So we're not subject to any. We don't respond. Even if there is any, we don't respond to that. The second one is about that we should know. It just says that we should. The second person said we should put more effort.
Yeah.
And that to checkmate this. Then the issue about who is managing what funds. I think we should. Always try
because
to
that person that raised that talked about the 3 broad lines of funds. Yes. The one coming from the international community, the one by the private sector, and then the one we are talking about that government is releasing our public funds.
So we also always should get information out to the public in a very clear manner that people are not confused. We know that we have had information that private sector people, like he's saying that Dangote is managing one set of the funds. Yes. We've had information that private sector people are actually providing assistance in some regard in kind, not so much in giving. I hope you understand.
Yeah, they will ask. They will ask if you need. They want to build a isolation center. They want to. They say they go and buy it.
Precisely.
They are accountable to themselves.
Yes. So let's not confuse what they are doing with probably what we think PTF is doing in terms of procurement.
I think our concentration here actually essentially is on what the public funds.
Yes. So, and that's general. I just want to say.
Yeah, let Dr.
Yes, okay.
Amadi.
I think to round up, I would say first, what a great move you guys have made. I've been in the public sector for years and I know how it works. One person can make a difference, but that difference can be checkmated. It can be blocked. The political will, back to it. I've seen nothing that tells me that we are doing this differently. Not at the level of ICPC, but at the level of
the country,
macroeconomy. First, for example, we are yet to see, somebody says, let's do the test. I'll go home and check that website. There are people who have not filed what they ought to file. But that's why I said that oftentimes that's some level.
But the question that even still remains that we need to go and find out from what Madam has from what you have also have said is is the fund appropriated first?
Yes.
And if under the budgetary,
let me say something about the fund appropriation. Yeah. For example, the federal government should have gone to the National Assembly. Of course, they got approval to borrow money.
Yes.
This emergency spending. If it's not in the budget of the ministries and parastatals, then there should be a approval for emergency spending. Okay. Then that spending should designate who specs, who procures. We shouldn't have multiple procurement entities in this regard because they are dealing with procurement is one. So the BP could deal with one person, Minister of Finance procures, or NCDC procures, so that you track it, again, that's critical. The second point, therefore, is that we should believe that this system can work. The civil society should trigger the FOI provision, which is now further enforced by the general framework and ICPC.
The guidelines, yeah.
To use it now to ask these questions and push. But believe me, knowing Nigerians, they will work hard.
Why are we very skeptical?
Because we've seen cases since 2015, we're fighting corruption. They have done a great job. We have still seen high level of impunity and recklessness of some officials. We're talking about school feeding, for example.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And people are saying, why
are you feeding children at home?
Why not people at home? This is something you wanted to do before the pandemic. Is it a part of emergency? Is it part of palliative? So there's some degree of irresponsibility and recklessness in the system, and their job is hard one. We need to support them. We need to be cynical enough, not doubtful of government, but don't take everything the government say. Cross-check. You know, to God we give faith. Say, in God we trust. Every person should provide evidence. So far, the evidence is not strong.
And I will also allow Madam to just say something about why people skeptical. People are skeptical. You are doing a great job, EFCC doing a great job, but when you just talk about government...
I think I do a great job, I'm not sure about EFCC.
When you just talk about government and you say there are guidelines, you say, forget about them. Why are people skeptical?
Okay, I think we need to have a reorientation of the public mindset. As Nigerians...
For them to believe...
No, just wait.
Yeah.
That we tend to generalize a lot. We tend not to believe anything around government, but we need to start changing, really. He said something. He said we should be cynical, but not overly so.
Yes.
You know, not to the point of doubting everything. Let me give you a quick example. I was going to go and get the yellow card. Sometime long ago, I think 2009, I was supposed to travel somewhere. And people were telling me, no, just go and take this thing. That thing doesn't want it. If you go to the center, they will not give you any injection. Just go and buy the
Buy along the road. And
I said, no, I won't do that. Let me go and test. It's somewhere in this Gariki, that primary health something. And I tested the system. And I got there. Under an hour I was attended to. I paid less than 500 naira that time. It was 2009.
They were on the street, they will be selling the cards for 4,000.
Yeah. So you see, there's a lot of misinformation about how government works. Let's test it so that we can. Now let me just encourage everyone. Do not be overly skeptical or unbelieving of government, but be cynical enough, be curious enough to say we want to know the details. It's your right. It's a democracy. It's your right to know the details of how public funds is being spent. Government should be transparent about it and accountable. But let's not kill everything. Dismiss it. No, that's not the right man.
And that would be, let's give the public opportunity to have the details, the website that Madam talked about just now. You just need to. You can say it, Madam. You can.
It's www.opentreasury, OPEN Treasury, TREASURY, opentreasury.gov. That is gov.gov.ng. NG for Nigeria.
Very clear, and it's a
very good improvement that the Minister of Finance.
Yes, we are looking at everybody being the monitor, helping everybody out and calling everybody to order. Well, we have to go.
Please visit the news page of our website, which is news.primorg.org. News.primorg.org. For all the details of our reports and interviews, visit our website, primorg.org, to get all the information about Primorg. And many thanks to the Director of Public Enlightenment and Education.
You just call her the spokesperson for the ICPC. ICPC is not
the spokesperson for the ICPC, Madam Rashidat Okodua.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly give to the public our toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. It is open 24 hours. If we are not there, we'll get the message when we get back to work. Anything surrounding COVID-19 or any act of corruption in any other sphere, please, we are available to take your call. And it's toll-free. You don't need to pay.
I want to tell you that we will make it a sing song for you. This number is going to be part of our own campaign at 0800-2255-4272. That is 0800-2255-4272. ICPC is a free toll and you are not paying to call the line. The meaning is that you can provide information. Please don't just call the line because you want to find out whether it is working. It's working.
Some people have been doing that.
And I want to appreciate Dr. Sam Amadi, a teacher at Bayes University, the man who ran away from the civil society and joined the government, but he's a teacher now. Public Conscience on Radio is supported by John T. and Katri D. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. Get more information about the foundation at their website at macfound.org.
Join us again next time for another episode of Public Conscience on Radio. I am Adaobi Obiagogo.
And next week, same time, 10 o'clock is another opportunity, and we shall be taking a look at the BPP, the Bureau of Public Procurement guideline itself that we talked about just now. We'll be examining it all in an effort to get everybody to understand what is happening so that we can monitor, and that, like ICPC we want to do, nobody should steal the money. We just want the money there. I'm Okiri Abbas Remy, and I want you to stay safe and away from COVID-19.